How's it going, folks? You're watching The Hungry Handgunner. I'm Nick, enjoying this beautiful weather and continuing on our topic of prepping / survival guns. I said in a previous video I'm not really a prepper per se. I thought I was, and then I got to know some actual preppers and realized, if anything, I was LARPing as a prepper. So not an expert on the subject, not a authority that you should necessarily even listen to. These are just my thoughts and opinions. So we've talked about, I've got a 3-part series on if you're buying your first gun. So if you're a new gun owner, I would advise going to check that out. I also did a video on 22s for survival, and those are kind of in addition to having some sort of intermediate rifle or a full-on, full-bore rifle or a centerfire handgun for self-defense. So with the 22 one, a guy kind of, I don't know if he had a psychic ball or what, but figured out where I was going when I said that there would be something else, and he said, you know, a pellet rifle. So that's kind of what we're going to be out here talking about today. I am not a air gun expert, not really an expert on anything, but I'm not an air gun enthusiast. I'm not even an air gun hobbyist. What I can tell you is that something like this, this is going to be a single shot break barrel design. It takes a little bit of force to cock. It is clear, it's part of why I was doing that, but you take your pellet out of a tin like this, which you pick up for a few bucks, drop your pellet in there, close it, and then you have a safety in front of the trigger and line up your shot and shoot. So, not the fastest thing in the world to shoot, but they are putting out some considerable force for being air powered. And when I say considerable force, I'm coming at this not from the topic of self-defense, obviously. Have there been people that have died from something like this? Yes, actually there have. I did a little Google search beforehand. These can be fatal based on a variety of factors and things like that. That being said, I would never use this for self-defense, again, unless this is the only thing I had, and then I'd be preparing for this to not work and have to go hands-on. So the pellets for this, the projectiles, are typically made out of lead. There's a wide variety of types that you can use. These are actually hollow point, and I don't have gel and stuff to test the expansion, although that would be a cool project. They are 7.9 grains, .177 caliber. 500 of them come in the tin, and I think a tin like this is $4 or $5, and this would be considered high performance pellets because of the hollow point. They're made by Remington. You can get a carton of like 1,200 pellets for $8, and they're just going to be flat nosed or slightly pointed Crosman pellets. They'll probably work just the same for the application I'm talking about with these types of air guns. And my whole approach to this is as a small game rifle. You have a relatively simple mechanism that's relatively easy to maintain. There's an O-ring in here that you need to keep somewhat lubricated up with grease or oil. I would be very careful what type of oil you use or grease so that it does not degrade the integrity of that O-ring. That creates the seal with the piston that's inside of here that is cocked when you break the barrel. Easy to maintain. Very quiet. We're going to do some shooting here in a second. I'm going to put a target down there and see what type of group we get. I'm not sure if this scope is on or not. I was shooting at some tin cans the other day, and it may have been me, or the scope may be shooting slightly, the point of impact was slightly left. So they're quiet. The ammunition for them is very inexpensive, lightweight, and it's dense for what it is, but it is light compared to regular firearm ammunition. And because of how much ammunition you can stock for these, as a small game rifle for squirrels, rabbits, chipmunks, whatever other little critters you might want to eat, this may be a very good option. So I've said it's quiet. It is quiet. There is a crack because it does break the sound barrier. This handle here, I'm not really sure if it doubles as a suppressor. I know some of them do because it's an air gun. I don't think they're really regulated. But I think this one's just mainly a cocking handle. And I think I've rambled on enough. Let's see what sort of group we get. Alright, so I have a Birchwood KC 9-inch shoot and see target about 25 yards down range. I'm going to shoot 5 rounds. There we go. Now and then a hinge can get stuck a little bit. Pellet's just a little tiny piece of lead with a flared base. Put that in there. Shoot 5 rounds and see Should probably just do it offhand. Be more embarrassing results for me, but more realistic. Let's see what we get on it. You can tell it is quiet. For my longtime viewers, it is so quiet, in fact, that the dog is not barking right now. Very interesting. Spoke way too soon, didn't I? That was number 3. Do 2 more. Not the fastest thing in the world to shoot, but not too bad. And 1 more. Alright, let's go see what we did. So as you can see, one shot went high. I strung 3 together fairly okay for my skill and pulled 1 way to the right. I want to paste those up and we'll try it one more time. Alright, so I pasted those holes back up. We'll do 5 more rounds. I want to rule me out as much as possible and see, this will be my first time putting this really on paper, but I want to see if I brace off the table if we get any better results. So do 5 more rounds, see what we get. So, not quite enough to avoid the neighbor's dog. The other thing I will say, different projectiles with these air guns can give you drastically different results. So do with that what you will. Be number 4. Let's see where that one went. They're definitely all pulling left. This scope is something that came with the gun, center point. So I'm not going to blame this all on the scope. Just telling you, I have no clue how good center point is. Alright, last shot. Let's go see what we did. So, as I was going to show you the target from the last round of fire, I heard something slide on the rifle. Scope's loose. So, this is 100% on me. That may be the issue, that may not. I don't have my tools out here to fix it right now, but I will update you guys on that later. While we're here at the table though, this is what the pellets look like for those who may not know. Pretty tiny. Let's go check the target out. So, strung them together a little bit better than the first group, and I am not sure how much of that is caused by the scope being loose. If you guys have more experience with optics and how much that can affect it, doesn't seem to be wiggling side to side, just back and forth. Again, I'm not an expert, but that is a minute of squirrel anyway. So yeah, let's go back to the table. So I realize that a little demonstration there may not show these rifles in the best possible light, and I'm sorry for that. That was negligence on my part for not making sure that this scope was properly fastened down. Don't shoot this rifle a whole lot, so might be part of it. I think actually, don't know the last time I tried to sight it in or anything like that. So if you have experience with this center point 4x32 scope or this Crosman Fire Nitro Piston air rifle, drop them in the comments. Hopefully your experience has been a little bit better than mine, and your rifle performs a little bit better than mine. Could be that I'm just a sucky shot too, so there is that. We won't discount that. Anyways, guys, I think that this wasn't so much about this particular model of air rifle, but I think air rifles in general do bear some consideration in your prepper loadout. There are also multi-pump styles. I think most of us grew up shooting those as kids. Some of those can absolutely put out enough force to take out a squirrel and stuff at 25, 30 yards. So with all that being said, I hope you guys stay safe, keep shooting, and if you can't shoot live fire, shoot some dry fire. Try to keep your sanity. I'll see you next time.